Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, students, that's the European Defence Challenge 2021 awards ceremony. And my name is Gualtiero Fantoni. I'm the coordinator and the spokesperson for the asset project. Next one. Our consortium is composed of more than 30 partners, mainly higher education and vocational and training institutions, education providers for sure, but also companies, the biggest company in the defense sector. And we are more than in 8 countries. So we are 30 partners plus 2 associated partners. The project has been financed within the Sector Skill Alliance Co, within the Erasmus Plus, and the DG DEFIS is supporting our project. Next one, please. So the partners are the one you can see, education and training providers, several universities, University of Pisa, Bordeaux, Aalborg, Central Supelec, Rezov, Cadiz, Seville, the 2 universities in Madrid, the Royal Military Academy, Mercantec, Aerocampus Aquitaine, Leonardo Training. The last 4 are VET providers. Our industrial partners are Hensoldt, Airbus, Rolls-Royce, Navantia, Safran, Leonardo, and Saab. And we have a research organization, Fondazione Giacomo Brodolini, an umbrella organization, and the certification institution that are fundamental for making the project ready to have an impact at the training level in Europe. Moreover, we have several enablers that are Chamber of Commerce, Association, or Technology Transfer Center. Plus, we have 2 associated partners that are Report Brain and the EU Opportunity. Next one. The project wants to create a sustainable supply chain for the European defense industry. And the target are the technologies you can see in the figure on the left. So artificial intelligence, autonomous system, cybersecurity, C4I, a military and defense technology, and robotics. The idea is creating a sustainable supply chain, a flywheel to support the defense sector. Actually, we started developing occupational profile for the sector. We set up an observatory in order to map and keep updated the skills necessary for the market and ready to reduce the gap it exists between the demand and the offer. Moreover, this European ecosystem will be enabled thanks to a series of new education and training initiatives. Try to focus first of all on the defense sector, but looking also at surrounding sectors, for example, the aerospace, that is very close to the defense. Next one, please. What we did during the first year, thanks to the natural language processing algorithm, we made an analysis, an automatic analysis of more than 500 technical documents, mainly scientific publication, white papers, documentation from national and international institutions, reports, and so on. These documents were mainly focusing on AI and robotics, C4I and cybersecurity. And thanks to this automatic analysis, but also with the support of our group of experts, we were able to develop a body of knowledge for the defense sector. Moreover, we stumbled on a new job profile and we noticed 24 new skills. So we fed ESCO, so the group studying and developing the skill panorama in Europe with this new skill and job profile. And moreover, we fixed some issue creating alternative labels for existing job profiles and also new connection between existing job profiles and new skills. Next one. So our project is focusing for sure on skills, but also on technologies and application, and the topic of the challenge are also about those. We are preparing a new version for what we prepared during the first year, so the skill blueprint and the body of knowledge. that will be upgraded year by year. One of the main points of our work this year is the attraction of new talent, plus the upskilling and reskilling initiative. So creating a contract between the new generation and the experienced one in the company in order to create a big community of practice where the younger teach the older with the digital, and vice versa. The new generation are fed with information about the history and the evolution of the technology. We are developing a full stack of training courses, both for vocational and educational training provider and for higher educational institution. And part of our pedagogical approach is also this impossible challenge. The goal is creating a portability of skills through within the sector and through sectors, very close sectors. Next one. Our project is also should be considered as a first step toward the Pact for Skills. The Pact for Skills is an initiative on aerospace and defense where our work can be considered the launchpad for the new one. We would like to put at disposal of the sector and other participants or stakeholders the results we got during this year. For that in particular, I would like to thank Electra Tsigaridas from the GDFIS for her continuous support of our initiatives. And also, I'd like to thank all the students who participated in this challenging European Defense Challenge, making it successful. Moreover, I would like to stress the fact that the jury found some difficulties in selecting the best one. Actually, the 10-page proposals have been evaluated, and for sure someone will win. But the evaluation of the jury is the evaluation of the final result. But as you know, no one can evaluate except you the improvement you made thanks to the challenge. So it is the improvement what you will take away. So that's my end of presentation. Good luck to the finalists, and I give the floor to Eric Grivel, University of Bordeaux.
Thank you, Galtiero. So I'm now going to say a few words, and before letting the three finalist teams present the highlights of their 10-page essays, let us recall a few things about the Assets Plus European Defense Challenge. So it was launched on December 2020 with Lucas Mendel from European Parliament, Geneviève Dariussec from the French government, Burkhard Schmidt from ASD, and Electra Tsigaridas from the European Commission. The Assets Plus European Defense Challenge is a competition that is open to all undergraduate and graduate students from higher education institutions. And during the first stage of the contest, the students were asked to share their visions on the following topic, very difficult one: which technologies and technology bricks are particularly relevant for Europe's sovereignty in defense and security? To this end, they had to submit a one-page note, and around 100 teams coming from more than 50 higher education institutions located in 19 countries signed up. Then a jury involving academics and industrials selected 26 teams that move on to the second phase of the contest. Please note that we were pleased to see that as many women as men could continue this adventure. And the latter started with a webinar with various speakers, such as Alain Lamassoure, former minister in France and member of the European Parliament, Nicoletta Pirozzi from Istituto Affari Internazionali, Jean-Luc Moulet from CNRS, and Alessandro Riccardo Ungaro from ASD. The purpose of the webinar was to provide the teams with tools to further develop their ideas in order to draft a 10-page proposal. Each 10-page proposal were then assessed by 5 to 6 different reviewers. Today, and considering the alphabetical order on the title of their essay, and taking into account the fact that there was, as you can see, a balance between graduate students and undergraduate students, but also female and male for this second phase. We are pleased to see that there are three finalists, three finalists that we are welcome today. So taking into account and considering the alphabetical order of the title of their essays, you can welcome Marinette Gaillon and Oriane Georges, but also Radka Flegova and Matej Pastir, and finally Emre Kaya and Miguel Garito Moreno. They respectively come from Sciences Po Lille, Charles University of Prague, and College of Europe. So before leaving the floor to them, I would like also to thank some people, and of course to thank all the members of the working group within Assets Plus that was at the origin of the challenge, all the speakers of the 3 digital events we organized, the reviewers, but also the students who participated in this event, but also the companies for the various gifts they will ship to the students, among them mock-ups, books, baskets with branded gadgets, and finally, the technical staff for the time they dedicated to the whole organization of the challenge. So thank you very much. And now let us give the floor to the first team so that they can present the highlights of their work. And so the first presentation, we are going to listen to Marinette Gaillon and Oriane Georges from Sciences Po Lille.
Yes, hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, great. So we worked on 5G. So as we all know by now, 5G is really an essential part of our future. So both commercially and strategically. But so first, a little bit of what it is. It's a new generation of telecommunication network that will create a whole new ecosystem for connected devices, so the Internet of Things. But like any other telecommunication technology, 5G is also a dual use technology, which means that it can benefit both the military, but also civilians. So right now, its development is really, it is pretty much limited, but that doesn't mean its future uses should be underestimated. For example, it could be very useful for the exploitation of big data, artificial intelligence, cloud processing, or multi-domain operations.
But 5G also has a geopolitical importance that we must take into account. As we have seen in the past year, its development has become an issue of competition between countries. We have also chosen this technology as our subject because the EU should have a resilient and sovereign network where data can travel safely. We therefore argued that the European defense needs to take a comprehensive approach regarding the development of 5G. That means setting an example in a safe development, but it also means bringing forward accurate information to all kinds of public, which will allow for better understanding and acceptance of this technology and its uses.
So first, what we did is study how 5G could benefit the strategic autonomy of European defense. So it could boost the European economy and technologies while also securing for the EU a key role in the ongoing geopolitical struggle around 5G. So for the moment, potential is there. It is there, but a real European industrial dynamic is still missing. So that is why European defense and telecommunication companies need the backing of governments, the EU, but also national militaries to then develop and deploy 5G. So due to the geopolitical importance that 5G development has taken on the world stage, we think it's really fundamental to raise the European profile overall in this sector by cooperating, so not only within the EU, but also with close partners.
So the development of 5G has been raising concerns over its potential impacts on the environment and human health. Researching 5G military implementation could therefore help to assess such risk and develop possible solutions. We support the creation of a platform between industries, scientists, and environmental and health agencies and civil society that widely shares updated information to allow for a better cooperation within the EU's democratic framework. So this platform could lead to regular events, gathering actors and institutions to produce practical policy guidelines and create a sense of community around the European defense.
Thank you, Oriane and Marinette, for the highlight and your presentation. Thank you very much. So let's, in this case, start with the team composed of Matej Pastir and Radka Flegova from Charles University in Prague. So we leave the floor to you.
Thank you very much. Is the connection okay? Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so good afternoon again. Thank you for having us today. So we are a group of students representing Charles University in Prague. Our names are Radka Flegova and Matej Pastir. We decided to approach this challenge from the point of European Union and from the viewpoint of disinformation, because it is disinformation that poses a specific threat for modern democracies, especially in Central and Eastern Europe, where we're actually coming from. Because of this threat, we decided to examine how we can fight disinformation in Europe in general from the technological and political perspective, and draw a couple of examples from Czechia, from Czech Republic. First, we decided to go more in depth with the technology itself. And we realized that one of the most promising and common methods for large-scale disinformation detection is actually automated fact-checking, which can have a multiple different shapes and models used. And we decided to go for the one which uses artificial intelligence, more concretely machine learning in its processes. However, when we look deeper in the development of the fact-checking technologies, we actually realize that they are not sufficient by themselves for all types of content, and they need a human supervision for complex tasks. And also there are other ethical, geopolitical, and geographical problems, also technological limitations that we need to consider if we want to further develop this technology and use it as a fact-checking tool in a large scale.
For reasons which were hinted at by my colleague, we concluded that technological solutions should not be taken as an all-encompassing answer to the question on how to combat disinformation. Therefore, we have to stress that we are not discarding technological solutions completely. Instead, we promote a complex approach where technology is a component to other policies and approaches. We think that the EU should support independent fact-checking initiatives. It should try to successfully disseminate the corrected claims by those initiatives to broader public and larger audiences. And it should also find suitable legislation to mitigate the power of platform companies acting as news mediators. Moreover, we hold that the EU should promote policies created to strengthen democratic resilience, especially when looking at the vulnerable region of Central and Eastern Europe. Moreover, we should be wary of not policy measures which are restrictive and could be seen as a censorship. And we should also not try to outsource this responsibility to large platform companies. This approach in itself is also controversial. So in short, the EU should pivot towards methods that are less restrictive in their nature and more based on soft power with long-term goals of increasing the resilience of our democracies in accordance with the EU Code of Practice on Disinformation. That was all.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So in this case, we would like to thank the students for sharing their visions with us and the answers they provided. So now what I suggest is the fact that we enter the second phase of this event. And we can, to start, we are going to ask Mr. Marinescu, which is a member of the Committee on Transport and Tourism, Chair of the Sky and Space Intergroup from the European Parliament, to say a few words. So, Mr. Marinescu.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank to the students for their presentations. I'm very sorry that we couldn't hear the third one. Congratulations for this competition, because I think that created a lot of interest around universities and students, as you said, and because the topic is, in my opinion, very, very important. Yes, sorry. So the topic is very, very interesting, and it's now in discussion, as you have seen, at the political level, and in the parliament we are discussing a lot about defense and security. We are in train in Europe to create a common defense policy, which is very difficult to create, and but it's very necessary. As you have seen in the last only 10 days, there are a lot of important meetings, high-level meetings, exactly in this respect. So the topics chosen by the listed teams. The finalists, the teams are very, very interesting. 5G is also a very discussed topic. We are discussing a lot in the parliament. From the point of view, regarding the point of the economical aspect, but in the same time security aspect, you know, the issues with China and so on. Disinformation, fake news, you know that it was a big report, resolution in the parliament regarding disinformation, and this is a very important topic, and I am glad that the students realize that it's good a technological tool, but I think that education is the most important thing. This is the way to tackle this very difficult issue. So I congratulate all participants, and especially the finalists. I hope that I know that you did it in the past. It was the same competition in the past. I hope that you will continue, and I hope that you will have a lot of participants, and maybe you can choose other topics similar interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marinescu. So now we are going to listen to Mr. Alexis, if you are with us.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you very much again for invitation to take part to this important ceremony today. As you know, defense is quite an important element for Europe. If we look over the last few years, quite important initiatives have been launched, both in the field of what we could call defense policy. Best example is, of course, PESCO, which has been a huge step in the field of defense. So, but it is pure defense policy. A second aspect is more linked to industry. And as you know, we launched a number of programs for defense cooperation in the field of industry. We have a so-called development program or so-called EDIDP program with limited budget, but 500 million. In the next few days, I think at the end of June, we will announce the result of 2020 EDIDP. And probably still more important, in the next few days, we will also launch a call for EDF 21, because for 2021, for next MFF, we will have more or less 1 billion every year for research and development. So it's quite important. So I'm sure we will launch important initiative and company will have the opportunity to start working beginning of July. So which is the objective of this initiative? Of course, the first objective is competitiveness of the EU industry, which is quite important. But competitiveness of the industry is not a final word. Of course, the final objective is not competitiveness. The final objective is having industry able to deliver capability that we need, capability that the army will need in the next few years, capability that we will need in the next 20 years. And this is why we support research and development. And something which is linked to this is, of course, EU strategic autonomy. Let's say autonomy, sovereignty, it's more or less the same thing. But what the objective is to contribute to EU autonomy. When we say technological sovereignty, technical autonomy, it's always sensitive. But what is important for us is technical autonomy. Autonomy doesn't mean protectionism. If we want some form of autonomy, it's not against people. It's a complement to what we have already. And of course, it's a complement to what has been done and to what will be done in the context of NATO. And which is why we need to cooperate with allies in the context of NATO. It's not EU for us. We want some form of sovereignty, some form of protectionism to contribute globally to security in full cooperation with allies in NATO. So when we say technical sovereignty, of course, it's linked to research. And here we very welcome the initiative which has been launched by Bordeaux University and colleagues, because we need to involve everybody. It cannot be only the EU institution. We need the EU institution. We need European Parliament because we need a budget. If we do not have money, we can do nothing. We need budget, but it's not enough. We also need all expertise coming from university, coming from technical research center, from all institutes in Europe. This is why this initiative is very important for us. And when we look to the result, it's quite impressive. 95 contributions, very good, no? 51 university, and maybe still more important, 19 countries, which is politically very important because EU initiative in the field of defense cannot be only for 5 big member states. We need to have all member states aboard, and this is why having so many countries on board is very important. When we look to a topic which I've been investigating, of course, again, it's quite very important, topic which are linked to priorities. And something which is also very important is topics linked to positive externality in the field of civil activity, and not only for defense. So we can justify putting EU, quite important EU budget, if we can demonstrate that we will have positive externality on civil activity. So again, very well done. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to Bordeaux University, because I do understand it's not something easy to manage. It's a huge amount of work to arrive to this. Congratulations, of course, to the student. And so at the end of the day, we will have one winner. But I think at the end of the day, we will not have one winner. We'll have a group, a package of winners to the benefit of Europe. So again, very well done.
Thank you, Mr. Alexis. We have good news concerning one of the students who has been able to join us after some technical problems. So if you agree, we are going to modify a little bit the initial program we plan and let him present the highlights of the work he did with one of his colleagues. So if it's possible, we are going now to listen to, I'm sorry to modify a little bit the program and of this event. So Miguel, Garito, Moreno, if you agree, we are going to let you speak a few minutes about your work. Thank you very much.
That's correct. Good afternoon, everyone. Apologize from my side and from my colleague, Emre Kaya. We've been having some connection problems, but I will speak on behalf of my team to present our work that we call it Sovereign Networks to Defend Europe. We try to reply to this European defense challenge in a way that we think it's the most needed by policymakers to tackle one of the problems that is facing Europe, especially with regard hybrid threats. And my colleague Emre and I worked on this idea of securing next generation telecommunication networks, which you can see there, NGTN, because we believe that both in the era of 5G and the future era that companies are already working on 6G, ensuring Europe's sovereignty is going to be key. It's going to be a necessity to protect these technologies. So we believe that the European countries in itself that aim to be sovereign has to develop, has to ensure the capability to protect these technologies. But we also understand that the way that Europe has to do so, obviously, the deployment of these technologies has different risks and opportunities. But it's clear for us that these risks and opportunities vary depending on whether we find ourselves in periods of peace or in periods of what we call conflicts or tensions. And that's why in our final paper, we present some of the best ways that we believe European countries has to minimize this risk, and how next generation telecommunication networks are relevant technology that has to be protected, but it has to be protected, let's say, in a case by case or in different scenarios. And lastly, one of our proposals on how to ensure that Europe's sovereignty and how to ensure that next generation technology networks are a key to protect European sovereignty. We believe that the way for European countries to do so is to move towards an environment of innovative and a competitive defense industry. What we mean by this is that we agree that European policymakers shall protect European companies and European markets to ensure that the industry remains competitive and innovative, in the sense that Europeans can benefit, let's say, of these first mover advantages of this standard setting, let's say, position that being a first mover gives to you. So in our paper, these are the three main ideas that we defend and we think that are keys for Europe to protect and to be fully sovereign. So that's what we believe, that protecting the European networks, and especially in the upcoming years, will be key to protect Europe itself.
Thank you very much, Miguel. I have the feeling that your colleague have been able also to connect himself to join us to the meeting. So thank you. And this is what happened with digital event. We may have, as you can see, some technical issues, but finally everyone can join the meeting. So thank you again. So I think that now it's time to share with you the final ranking. So we are going, and I'm going to ask Mr. Marinescu to announce the final ranking. So we are going to share once again the screen. Mr. Marinescu, could you please announce the third winner team? Because we consider, as Galtiero Fontoni said, that we have 3 winners, and then we try to, of course, probably define a podium and a sort of final ranking. So could you please announce the third winner team, please?
So the third winner team is Marinette Gaillon and Oriane Georges from Sciences Po Lille.
So congratulations.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Well, I would be glad to say a few words, but I guess Marinette and Oriane are the stars of the day. So please, if you feel like expressing your happiness.
We didn't really we weren't really prepared to talk, but thank you very much. Thank you, of course, to our professor, Mr. Meki, who really guided us through all this process, which really would have been much more difficult without him. And thank you to him for pushing us to participate and to think about this subject, which was really interesting to think about. And of course, I'm really glad to have worked with Oriane.
Likewise, I wanted to thank both Sami Maki and Marinette Gaillon to have participated with me to this project. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Oriane and Marinette. So just a few words to say that I'm very proud of their work. They did a very good job, actually, with a great autonomy, and they really surprised me a lot. So I'd like to thank the organizers for the wonderful initiative they had. I think it's really very stimulating. And as a professor, but also as a researcher, I'd like to congratulate all the participants, because I'm sure they did a wonderful, stimulating contribution to the ongoing debates. And I think that it's a way to consider also the importance of a bottom-up approach to defense studies. So reconnecting the industry, academia, and European institutions is, I guess, very key for the future. So once again, congratulations for this wonderful initiative. I hope there will be a follow-up, because I'm expecting to do even better with the next teams next year from Sciences Po Lille. No, thank you very much for everything. Thank you.
So congratulations once again to this third winner team. And let us now move on to the second winner team. So Mr. Marinescu, the second winner team is
Matej Pashtir and Radka Flegova. And again, congratulations from Charles University. To be honest, I thought that maybe you are the winner, the first one, but you are the second, and I congratulate you also a lot.
So I don't know. I don't think that, unfortunately, I don't think that there is a representative of Charles University, but probably Matej and Radka, you would like to say a few words.
Thank you very much, and thanks that we could actually participate and try to develop our thoughts in this competition. Thank you very much.
I would also very like to thank you for the opportunity. We also did not prepare a speech, so we apologize for that. But we are glad to participate here, so we're very thankful.
Thank you very much. And so, as you know, and as Galtiero Fontoni and all the reviewers said, and we were very enthusiastic when reading all the proposal that were submitted, because it was written with a very high quality level. And so now we have to look at finally the first winner team. And of course, now it is clear that Mr. Marinescu, the first winner team, is
Emre Cursat Kaya and Miguel Garito Moreno. And congratulations for this. It's a very important topic that you choose and you work on it, and something that is missing. We need these networks and European ones, because and it's very difficult to build these European networks. Member states are still reluctant to this, so congratulations for this work. Very good job.
Thank you. Probably, I think that Emre, Miguel, but also Ms. Mogherini from College of Europe would like to say a few words, of course.
Should we let the students go first?
If I may, I just would like to thank everyone who has been involved in this organization, but in particular my colleague Emre, my colleague and friend Emre, who has definitely pushed us to write what we thought was a high quality paper, and who has definitely been the core part of the team. And I'm really thankful that I had the opportunity to let's say work with him in this project. But also I would like to extend my my thank you to the whole College of Europe team who has supported us, let's say, in the best way, especially professors and assistants. So that's it. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all the winners. I'm pretty sure your work was really high quality as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, first of all, our sincerest apologies for the delay. This was today actually the last day that we had at the College of Europe. We were all on the ways. That's one of our excuses, although it's not one. I don't say it's an acceptable one, but it's one of our excuses. So it's actually an emotional moment because we left our family there. So I would like to thank my first of all, my colleague Miguel, without whom it would have been impossible, who really, we really did a great job, I think, working together. And of course, the College of Europe, who really, this thinking lab, which created this team, which is behind this team. And of course, last but not least, Access Consortium. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, us students, European students who are eager to put our minds into work for a more sovereign Europe in security and defense. And congratulations to everyone who participated, and looking forward to read the reports if possible. Thank you very much.
On my side, I wanted to be present even online to congratulate Miguel and Emre for this very important prize and award and recognition. And tell you the College of Europe community is proud of you. And me personally, being someone that has worked on European defense in my previous capacity, this is particularly something that is important for me, but I would also like to congratulate the other two teams. The projects seem really interesting and good, and also I would like to thank and congratulate the promoters of the consortium, but also the sponsors and the institutions, in particular the Commission and the European Parliament, for promoting this joint efforts focusing on students' proposals and projects, but bringing together research, academia, the private sector, the institutions. I think this is really the right mix. We need the industry to make the European defense advance in a very concrete manner. So congratulations for the idea and for the project, and also for this good ideas that were presented today. I would also like to say, as director of the college, I fully understand Miguel and Emre are probably emotional today, because indeed it's the last day when they are supposed to leave Bruges today. I'm now connecting from Natolin, where we have the closing today and tomorrow. So it's a good, let's put it this way, you couldn't find a better way to finish your experience at the college, and then I'm sure that you will continue working on European defense in different environments. So congratulations again, and congratulations to the promoters of this.
Thank you, everyone. So probably now I leave the floor for a conclusion to Galtiero Fantoni. Galtiero?
Okay, thank you very much. It was very emotional also for me. and for Eric for sure. I'm really happy to see so young faces ready to start working within our sector. It is important to have you promoting a new culture of innovation in the defense sector, also taking into account different aspects, not only technological, but also thinking in a more broader way. So I would like to follow what Mr. Marinesco said before. Actually, stay tuned with our social, because a new challenge will come soon. Another institution will challenge you with a new project. So spread the word to your friends still at the university, brother, sister, and so on, and with your former professor, in order to support the new teams for the next challenge asset will provide you for the next year. And let me thank also the real engine of the challenge, that is Eric Grivel, that made an incredible job on behalf of the project. But without Eric and Marie, probably the challenge will not be so good. Thank you again.